Hello, this is Bill Baldwin of Boulevard Realty with an update on flood maps. Please be aware that the Harris County flood maps are about to change. In fact, the way flood maps will be determined is totally new and revolutionary. Make yourself aware of the process and the timeline at Map Next. Map Next stands for Harris County Modeling, Assessment, and Awareness Project, the first of its kind in the nation. It's the next generation of flood mapping using new methodologies, new technology, and new data. The new maps will be released in early 2025, and thousands of homes in Harris County are expected to be added to both the 100 and 500-year floodplains. Likewise, many homes may no longer be in the 100 or 500-year floodplains. After the announcement, there will be a period of 6 to 9 months of education and input. The adoption is not likely until late 2025 at the earliest. Please keep up to date and refer to Map Next on the Harris County Flood Control website.
HAR TV has expanded and we're now offering video services at 4 locations. Our Fort Bend branch located at 6608 Greatwood Parkway in Sugar Land. Our Montgomery County branch located at 25700 I-45 North in Spring. Our Bay Area branch located at 17225 El Camino Real in Bay Area. And our original location at HAR Central located at 3693 Southwest Freeway in Houston. All 4 locations offer all the same high quality video production that you have always experienced here at our central location. Contact us today to get your video appointment scheduled at any one of our 4 locations.
Hey there, I'm Alexandra.
And I'm Mary Angie.
We are super thrilled to invite you to join us at our annual HAR Engage Conference, happening October 17th at the Norris Conference Center.
Yes, it's going to be an amazing event filled with networking, learning, and a ton of fun.
But hey, here's the deal. We need your help to make it awesome.
That's right, we are on the lookout for sponsors who want to be part of something truly special.
And guess what? We've crafted a sponsorship package with amazing new benefits.
Yes, and we have different levels of involvement to fit every budget and need.
Whether you want to be a signature, premium, or a platinum sponsor, or even if you don't see a level that's just right for you,
we got you covered. We can custom tailor a sponsorship package just for you.
Plus, being a sponsor means you'll get your brand in front of more than 500 real estate leaders.
And let's not forget about all the exclusive perks and benefits you will enjoy.
So what do you say? Are you ready to take your brand to the next level and join us as a sponsor at HAR Engage?
Don't miss out on this opportunity to shine. Get in touch with us today and let's make magic happen together.
Good morning and welcome to Member Focus Monday. I'm Christina Schaefer, Director of Social Media for HAR, and it's a very important time of the year. We are in the midst of election season and we have so much to talk about when it comes to the 2024 elections. Here with us today, we have Burton Alfred, who's our HAR Director of Governmental Affairs and Advocacy, and Karen Driscoll, who's our HAR Director of Political Affairs and TREPAC. Welcome back to the program, ladies.
Thank you, Christina.
Thank you. Absolutely. I'm so excited to have you back. This is actually not your first appearance on our program, but we love when you can both take some time and tell us what's going on and, most importantly, how it affects the real estate industry, how it affects us here locally. We see all these national headlines, but there's a lot that happens locally that we really need to pay attention to. So we're really excited to be able to discuss all of this with you today.
Awesome. Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. Yeah, thank you. I'm excited for you too. So let's before we get into all of the questions that I have for you, let's hear a little bit about you for anyone who hasn't had the opportunity to meet you both yet. Just who you are and what you do for HAR. We can start with you, Amber.
All right. Thanks, Christina, and happy Monday, everybody. I'm Burton Alfred. I'm your Director of Governmental Affairs and Advocacy. And what that is I work with the members in the Government Affairs Advisory Group and your elected officials, as well as other government entities. I've been with HAR about 8 years now, and I always say that I love working with realtors and in the real estate industry because realtors really want what's best for the community.
Wonderful. Thank you. And Karen.
Hi, good morning. I'm Karen Driscoll, your HR Director of Political Affairs and TREPAC. I've been at HAR 23 years, all in the Governmental Affairs Department in various roles. Now I work with all the different political affairs advisory groups to interview candidates, and also with the TREPAC advisory group to raise the funds to support those candidates.
Excellent. And you mentioned local. We're going to talk a little bit about that later, about the importance of local and how hyper-local it can be. So thank you both for sharing that with us. Let's start with just, again, getting into local and state. Karen, why is it so important to pay attention to the local and state elections? Again, I feel like we see the headlines and everything's national, right? Commercials, national. Why, though, should we be trying to pay more attention to local and state?
Well, absolutely, Christina. As you mentioned, of course, the presidential election and all the national elections are the big show. But where the rubber meets the road and all the work really happens is behind the scenes of that big show, and that's really your state and local elections. Those elected officials that you're voting for determine your tax rate, determine where you can put your signs out via sign ordinances. All that work that the government does is actually very much done so at the local and state level. And so it's really important to vote in those elections. And we understand that this ballot is going to be super long when you go to your polling location, but take the time, and just like, you're on your CVS receipt, I was saying this the other day, the coupons are at the bottom. You want to go scroll all the way through that ballot and make sure you cover all that information.
Very good. Don't just stop after the first one. I love that. Thank you. So Amber, we get this question from time to time. Why does HAR care? Why are we doing this, or why are we involved? Why is it not only important but essential that an organization like HAR be politically involved?
Okay, well, you said one important word, essential. So one really good example of being involved and why it's important for us to have a role in space in government is that during 2020, during the pandemic, when we started hearing the word essential workers a lot, members started calling in, talking about, real estate was not included in the federal guidelines for what essential workers were. So we were able to advocate at the local level because of our relationships on the phone, making calls, making sure that, because Governor Abbott hadn't declared what essential workers was just yet, we still had the opportunity to do that at the local level. So that means your county judges, your commissioner's court, they were the ones who determined if the county clerk's office stayed up, if the tax assessor collector's office stayed open. All of those things impacted our real estate transactions. Just to give you an example, we had several thousands of real estate transactions in the balance going to closing during the pandemic. Had real estate not being declared essential, we could not have had people moving homes and shelter in place. So that's one of the prime examples of why it's important to get involved. But then it goes all the way down to permitting. Members have issues with the permitting center in Houston or another city. They're trying to get someone to move in and need clearance. You've got to be able to have those connections to understand how the government works, understand who to talk to and who can help you.
Yeah, wonderful. I think, we have a lot of new members that have joined since 2020, or maybe those members that were around in 2020 but don't remember how crucial that was. And that work was done so quickly. Amber, can you tell us what kind of was the turnaround between maybe the lockdown and real estate being deemed essential?
So I would say this, even before, because of the work that I do and with the members and the government affairs group, the county judge for Harris County, County Judge Hidalgo, actually reached out to me and said, hey, HAR has like 6,000 open houses this weekend, and people need to shut down. What can we do? So I was able to say, okay, let's address that. Two separate issues. We can address open housing. I immediately called our CEO, Bob Hill, We got on the phone with our leadership and decided to go virtual with open houses, which then created a whole nother realm of opportunity possibilities for HAR with virtual open houses. And then we were able to talk to our other county judges and use Harris County as an example. So the turnaround time was about 12 hours. Now I will tell you, and people say, "Why? You have me because I'm the one who once y'all say, okay, Amber, let's go do that. We're up at midnight. We're up at all times of the night making this happen." And that's why it's important to have an actual dedicated staff to government affairs at HAR, because we represent all of our members. It's not just about me with elected officials, it's actually about making where the rubber meets the road, we actually can make things happen and make some changes.
Excellent. Thank you. And thank you for sharing that story with us and that example with us. I do have a question for both of you because I think it affects probably both of you in different ways. You know, we often share positions on a particular issue or candidates, some of which we'll talk about today, actually. But before we talk about that, can you tell us a little bit about how those decisions are actually made? And again, I know it's probably different for each of you since you're over different parts of it. We can start with you on this one, Karen.
Certainly, Christina. So all of our decisions are member-driven, and that means that Realtor members are making them. And that means that Realtor members are taking time out of their busy lives to come and sit in meetings and interview candidates for over 72 hours just this year alone, and meeting with those candidates and one-on-one asking them questions really regarding the real estate industry and getting to know them. And so that's really where the decisions are made. And of course, those recommendations for our political affairs advisory groups are then also taken to the board of directors. And then any state and national decisions are then forwarded to Realtor members to make those decisions on the state and national level as well. So it's all volunteer driven.
Very good. And with yours, you're looking a lot at the people, the candidates, right? Tell us about how hyper local that actually gets.
Well, we actually interview in several municipalities around the Houston area. It gets so hyper local. We're in Missouri City Council interviewing there now, where we actually have a Realtor member running that we're supporting from Missouri City Council. So we're super excited about that. And it is super involved, and our members actually get out work. That's the best part about being part of the Realtor organization is the grassroots advocacy, not only on the issue side, but also on the election side, because our members are actually out there supporting, block walking, working the polls, and talking to other people about their recommended candidates and supporting them.
Excellent. Amber?
Yeah, I would just piggyback on what Karen just said. I think I love working with the real estate because literally they're the ones putting out the signs, boots on the ground, walking the neighborhoods. They know what's coming, what's going on. And there's absolutely no way that I can know what's going on in the 9-10 counties that we cover at all times as one person. So members they bring the issues to me a lot of times. But also one of the things I always say to my team is if an issue is already on the agenda, we're behind schedule. So we work really hard to monitor what's going on, what issues that constituents are bringing to the elected officials. So we are, in case they're going to negatively or positively impact real estate, we can be at the forefront of that. We can make sure that HAR's voice and the members' voices are heard. As I mentioned earlier, I do liaison the Government Affairs Advisory Group, which is a group of about 60 people, 60 real estate members. It's chaired by real estate individuals. We have members who are involved on committees, the Planning Commission and different committees, the school board throughout. Some of them are elected. As Karen mentioned, we have some running for office now, but we have elected officials who are also realtors. So that's really critical and crucial to helping us make sure we know what's going on at all times.
Wonderful. So one of those particular issues that I wanted to bring up, Amber, Harris County voters will be voting on Proposition A. Can you tell us about Proposition A and how will it affect Harris County residents?
Definitely. So Proposition A on the Harris County ballot only, not to be confused with the HISD propositions, is a flood control proposition. So there we go. There's your language. So we have worked with Harris County Commissioner's Court on this issue really since Harvey. And we became involved heavily in in flood control, flood mitigation, resiliency, because as you all know all too well, here now in 2024, flooding, disasters really impact the ability to sell homes. Even if people don't want to move here, people don't want to move here if they think their home's going to flood or they're going to not have electricity for a week. So this is a really critical issue that we are saying vote for. And that's because we fully vetted that. We've looked at it. There's a small tax increase that comes with that, about $60, let's say on average for a $400,000 home. And don't quote me on that, but it's the language is on the slide. But it's a small increase. While we don't like to raise property taxes, the more and more we're more resilient against flooding, the more your insurance costs will go down. So homeowners insurance is skyrocketed, and in some places now Progressive won't even issue new policies here in this area. So we have to try to mitigate those issues and balance everyone's interests. So we're really asking you to get out for Harris County, vote for this proposition. We haven't had one since 2018 after Harvey. So it's time. This is going to lead to projects. You can go on their website. You can literally see every project they've worked on and completed and what projects are going on. That way, if you see something in your neighborhood or you're concerned or you are concerned that nothing's happening in your neighborhood, reach out to them and let them know. We actually met with Harris County Controlled Flood District and their leadership a few weeks ago at the Government Affairs Advisory Group to make sure the members could really ask those hard-hitting questions. And it went very well. And this passed unanimously at the Government Affairs level and at the board level to support this initiative.
And I mean, if you're a realtor in the Houston area, but you reside outside of Harris County, this is probably something that it would be important to make your clients aware of or past clients aware of, right?
Yes, definitely. And there are all kind of emails that we're sending out. They're going out. Like I said, there's a website. There's a lot of information you could just simply text or email out to your client, basically let them know this is to protect you. This is as we talk about hyper local, this is a hyper local way that you can not only get the change you need, but you can also make calls if you don't see the change or if you're concerned about it. You can reach out to the people that are making those changes.
Excellent. Let's shift our focus to the people, Karen. So where can members find HAR recommended candidates for their area?
Well, right now later today they'll get a personalized email with their recommended candidates for their specific districts in their email box from har.com. Or you can actually always access it online at HR Connect, and you can download it and you can actually print that and take it with you to the polls if you want to. So you have that information right there in your hand while you're placing your vote. And that's really the best way to find our HR recommended candidates.
Very good. Now, you just mentioned the process. What if they receive that recommended candidate list and they have questions? I was thinking of supporting this candidate. Why is HAR supporting that one instead? Where do they reach out?
They can certainly reach out to us at politicalaffairs@har.com, and that's probably the easiest way, the fastest way to get answers via email. They can also call us at the main number 713-629-1900 extension, and our political affairs analyst Grant Trammell will be there to answer phone calls at extension 1287.
Very good. And I do see a comment that came in from Felita that says early voting done with a yes for Prop A. So very good.
Thank you.
I'm going to say people should already have been voting.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, we want to talk about some of those dates too. Now, Amber, for those who have voted, let's say, and they voted by mail, I've seen some questions about delays in that process this year. Maybe you're nervous about it or curious about it. You want to make sure that your mail-in ballot arrived. How can you check that status?
So you can go to your whatever county you live in. So let's say you in Harris County, go to the Harris County Clerk's office and check that ballot. Also, you can check with the Texas Secretary of State. And also you can, go on the website, but you also can be old school and just call them and see if it's been received. I know that last week was the deadline to request one, and November 5th is the deadline to return it. So definitely want to call and check on that. And also, if you don't want to go vote twice, if you already did the mail-in ballot, don't go to the polls and try to vote again. We don't want any issues like that. But yeah, just go on the website, enter information in, and it should pull it up and let you know the status.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Now, Karen, for those who are voting in person, what are some important dates that they can remember? And do we have any resources to help them determine where they should go vote.
Absolutely. So early voting, as we already talked about, early voting is going on now. Thank you everyone who has already voted. Yay. It ends on November 1st, and then election day is Tuesday, November 5th. And all our great resource of one where you can find polling locations, that information about the mail-in ballots, and voter guides is har.com/go/vote. And we hope you really look at that information online.
Excellent. And for anyone who needs it, we did share both the information to contact the political affairs team if you have questions about recommended candidates, and also the website that Karen just mentioned for resources. Those have been shared in the comments, so please take a look at those if you need them. Now, we've heard this a lot. I've heard headlines. I've seen ads across social media that this year is an important year to get out and vote. And you know, I vote in every election, so I think they're all important. But why especially this year? Amber, we can start with you. I want to hear from both of you. But Amber, why this year? Why is this so important this year to get out and vote?
Well, obviously, if you have any sort of, if you're watching the show, you have social media. So you know that we have a really critical, important presidential election. So every presidential election is critical. Especially when you have two new people, essentially. Yes, we have a former president, but this has been a really interesting race with President Biden stepping down so late. And it's exciting, but I would make the argument that there are far more important races that we need to be paying attention to, all the way down to the bottom of the CVS receipt, right? That's where the cool $10 coupon is, at the bottom of the receipt. So that's where your important people are as well on that ballot. I love that, Karen. But this is we have so many issues going on that are critical that can really affect generations to come. I've already talked about natural disasters, weather. That's what I call it. And you call it climate change, whatever you want to believe in. But we all know that we've had bad weather. Mm-hmm. And I always say I'm not a politician. And one of those reasons, because I'm leaving. When I don't have electricity, I'm out of here. I can't stay. No, I'm kidding. I will help people. But it's not fun to be in sweltering heat. I'm sure, Christina, you were pregnant this summer. That's dangerous. It's dangerous, and it's not pleasant to be in sweltering heat. We've got to do something about our weather and our power grid. Those are all affected at the local and state level. Yes, a lot of the funding comes down from our federal government, but it's actual implementing that and paying attention and fixing it, infrastructure. It's all local. So those things are critical right now. Beyond what we see in the media, the high level issues, immigration, abortion, those controversial issues, we have some really red meat issues we need to really drill down. Our public education system, our criminal justice system, all those things are important on the ballot, and they're all the way down on the bottom a lot of times, all the way down to your judges, your constables. All that is critical.
Mm-hmm. Very good. Thank you. Karen?
Well, absolutely. I'm going to piggyback off what Amber said, because this year, it is the presidential election, but also it's a state election that only happens every 2 years as well. So it's super important to go out and vote for those state elected officials, because all those issues like weather that impact that Amber was talking about also impact housing affordability because of the insurance rates that we also discussed earlier. And all of that really does make an impact on your clients and your homeowner and you yourself as a homeowner and realtor, member advocate for home ownership. And so it's very important to go all the way down the ballot. And really, we get involved politically because when you support those candidates, those are the people making those decisions. And that's really why we get involved so early and build those relationships so early on, so that we have those opportunities to make those calls when something comes up and have those relationships and have those conversations at that kitchen table with them and be able to sit down with them and do that.
Thank you. I think a lot of our members are experiencing some of those issues with insurance companies and trying to help their clients get coverage already. But for anybody who hasn't, or this is news to you, I would encourage you to take a look at Bob Hale's Insights newsletters on Friday, or tune into the HAR On the Move podcast on Fridays, because there's almost always an article about insurance and how it's affecting different states, but also how it's affecting us here locally. So thank you both for sharing that with us. If anybody was on the fence about voting, I hope they now will get out there and vote. Again, I'd like to hear from both of you on this one. Amber, we already kind of brushed on it a little bit, but How can realtors encourage voting with their clients? Now, in the past, people have been told keep politics off social media, right? But voting is something I think we can all get behind. Karen, we can start with you on this one. How can realtors encourage voting with their clients?
Certainly. Actually, realtors can really use this as a conversation starter with their clients, even like as a check-in with their clients, and talk to them about why they're polling locations. Sorry about that. Polling locations, especially because realtors know their area and their community so well. They can advise them where their closest polling location is, checking in with them, telling them about the local issues on the ballot, particularly in the local city ballots. And that's all information that the realtor can share with them and show that they're an advocate for the community and for their clients as well.
Excellent. Amber?
Yeah, that's really great, Karen. A touch base, and also I think realtors, one thing that they bring to the table, the return on investment, that's so critical right now that everybody's talking about, is just being in the know. Like, you can tell me where to go get the best coffee, where I can go, where my kids need to go to school. Also tell me what's going on. I live in Fort Bend County, and right now one of the big issues is Sugar Land is looking to put a power plant in. If I'm a realtor, I'm on top of that. Whether I'm for it or against it, I'm going to be in the know on where that power plant's going, what it looks like, what's the time frame, how will it impact as far as home sales, home value, things like that. So I think it's important you can have those discussions and show that you're in the know, that you know what's going on in the community, that where you're not just selling houses, you're actually shaping the community. And I think that goes a long way with the client.
Yeah, very good. Thank you for that. Now, I know both your departments have some opportunity for member involvement. Can you tell us a little bit about that? Amber, we can start with you on this one.
Okay, well, the most coming up coming soon is the Housing Symposium on November 14th. Karen mentioned affordable housing. I can't believe I haven't mentioned affordable housing. That's critical when it comes to our elected officials, but I think I would probably talk too much about that. So come November 14th, hear all about it, meet with the people actually are your down payment assistance programs, who actually work with our banks, our credit system, all those things that impact the cost of housing, our builders. Come to our symposium. It's Thursday, November 14th. You can register now. We have a few spots available, so don't miss out. Also, you can, where the Get Involved time now, you can serve on the Governmental Affairs Advisory Group, or the GAG as we call it for short. We have some great leadership. It's a great way to get involved. We have a lot of TRP members, former members and current ones, a lot of TREPAC trustees. We have all the people that are in the know on this committee. So I encourage you to apply. Right now, I know that, correct me on the date that the deadline is. I don't know if y'all know that or not.
November
but it's
15th.
Okay. So the day after the symposium, make sure you get your application in.
Very good. Thank you. Karen?
Absolutely. So as Amber mentioned, get involved in the deadline of November 15th. We'd love to have you sign up for one of our 5 political advisory groups, including the Political Affairs Advisory Group, the Montgomery County Political Affairs Advisory Leadership Group, and Fort Bend PAL for short, and also the Montgomery County. So we have regional areas that focus on those more local elections, as well as the liaisons between the local communities and Amber's group, the Governmental Affairs Advisory Group. So it's very important to be involved from those local, more regional areas of our HAR membership. And then also the TREPAC Advisory Group. So lots of opportunities to get involved in. Of course, there's always TREPAC events and events that we have coming up that we'd love to see everyone at.
Very good. Thank you. And we did share that Get Involved link in the comments. I do want to hear some closing thoughts from you in just a second, but I thought I would quickly share. We had a few comments come in from some of the people that are watching us live. Johnny commented, great information. HAR is well represented by both of you, so we love that comment. Zelda said, good morning. I printed the HAR recommended candidate list and took it with me to the polls. So as you suggested, Karen, that was something that Zelda was able to do. And I'm glad you mentioned that because I think people are nervous about taking something into the polls with them. You know, we've heard put your phone away and things like that, but you can take that list. So very good. Juana just said great tips about voting to share with to share with clients. We know the local voting poll locations and should be able to share this information in our neighborhood. So excellent. And another comment here from Zelda, she said, and get involved with TREPAC to support candidates who support initiatives that affect our clients' property rights. So some great points there from them. You ladies have shared some great information with us this morning. Is there anything else that you wanted to mention today? Karen, we can start with you.
Absolutely. So not only can you print, if you can print your, like we mentioned, you can print the HAR recommended candidate list, but you can also go to our har.com/go/vote and get your sample ballot and make a pre-planned for voting so that when you do go in there, you don't get as overwhelmed and you make it all the way down that ballot because you know exactly who you want to vote for. So, and we really, no matter who that is, we really encourage you to please go vote and exercise your right to vote. It's so, so important.
Excellent. Amber, anything else you want to share with our audience today?
Go vote, yes, but voting is just the first step. So I would say definitely get involved. So whether it's with the HAR committee or in your community, it could be at the smallest level of just making phone calls about an issue or to support a candidate all the way up to actually running for office. And we can help you with all of those things. If you have questions or if you don't know what to do, but you know you want to do something, reach out to us and we can definitely steer you in the right path. So just get involved, get out there and be a part of the community.
Very good. Well, thank you again to both of you. Another comment just came in from Peggy. She said, thanks to these staff members for keeping real estate top of mind. So always doing that. But thank you again both for, I know this is such a busy time for both of your departments. So I appreciate you taking time to come chat with me this morning and help our members better understand what's going on. If they haven't gone to vote early yet, now they have the tools and resources to do it, and all the reasons why they should, right? So thank you both for sharing with us today.
Thank you for having us, Christina. It was a pleasure.
You, Christina.
Absolutely. Before we go, I do want to mention that next week, next Monday, we will be discussing maintaining mental health during times of change or high stress. And we're going to be discussing this with HAR member and psychologist Brian Kim. So be sure to tune in next Monday at 9 a.m. When we talk about mental health and why it's so important to all of us, especially when there's change and stress in it. We know there's some change and stress in the real estate industry. So we'll be discussing that next Monday. But that's it for this Member Focus Monday. Have a great week, everyone. Bye-bye.